Today's news is focused on tariffs and how they can affect supply chains and our everyday economy with potentially higher prices, supply chain disruptions, and greater uncertainty. Whether it's the threat of 10% tariffs or 100%, companies need to create forward-looking plans that can provide more certainty in their operations and purchasing options. So, how can artificial intelligence and supply chain technology help create order from chaos and design better strategies for navigating these times? Supply chain optimization applications are designed to provide solutions using AI tools for different scenarios and under different probabilities that they will actually happen. These AI tools can provide a roadmap for what we should do now and also lay out when we might take certain actions to minimize adverse effects of economic factors like tariffs on our operations. Let's take a look at how Logix AI can effectively model tariffs and sourcing to mitigate risks, reduce the impact of tariffs on costs, and ultimately lay out pricing alternatives that preserve profitability and margins. First, make sure you've downloaded and installed the latest update of Logix AI from the Logistics Solutions website. Now, let's get started. From the Logix Start screen, click Demo. Logix will load the standard demo model with the usual suppliers, distribution centers, and customer demand. You will also see in the Design Center panel a listing of different demo models and problems we can choose from. For this tutorial, select How to Model Offshoring, which adds a supplier based in Shanghai, China, and 2 possible ports of entry to our basic demo model, as well as a number of freight rates to go along with the model. If you're not familiar with the basic supply chain modeling concepts or Logix, you can go back and learn about this demo or how to create your own supply chain projects from the tutorials on the Logistics Solutions website. Next, double-click on the Shanghai supplier to view the Design Center detail screen for this supplier. The usual fields show the supplier name, city, state, and country, as well as other key information we will need, including basic or average pricing for this product or product category. Total production capacity is pretty high and is set at about 90% of the total annual demand for this model. There's also a field for tariff percentage that is set at 0 for now. One more thing to note is that mode is set equal to C. This means this supplier needs to find a C port of entry in our model, and Logix will do this automatically for us in the optimization. Close the screen and view the same information for our other 2 domestic suppliers by double-clicking on each of them. Note that the domestic suppliers are basically unlimited, but have a higher price point than the overseas supplier. Their freight costs are set at $2.50 per container load per mile for U.S. supply out of Salem, Virginia, and $2.75 for Mesa parts out of Austin, Texas. There are no tariffs for domestic suppliers. Next, simply view some of the freight rates we've set up for the Shanghai import to either a West Coast or East Coast port of entry. These are per 40,000-pound container load, and we're using ocean freight in this case. Ports of entry are either the port at Long Beach, California, or the Georgia Port Authority in Savannah, Georgia. There's a bit more going on in this model, but for now, let's just view the network parameters we've set up to solve the problem. Go to the Parameters Network tab, and you'll see that the supplier pricing option has been turned on, as well as the sourcing optimization option. What this means is that Logix can now optimize which sources or suppliers to use based on pricing, as well as transportation and warehousing costs, and also can tell us how much product we should source from each supplier under these conditions for the optimum overall solution. This model is currently set up to optimize sourcing with 0 tariffs. Enter 2 as the number of sites, and from the Design Center Network Modeling panel, click Optimize to generate the baseline solution with 0 tariffs. In a few seconds, Logix shows all the transportation and warehousing costs, quantities, distances, and total product cost and other calculations for the current operations with an overall cost of about $27 million. You can also go to the Dashboard Monitor screen to see a graphical breakdown of each cost category and other important metrics. Next, double-click on our Shanghai supplier and enter a tariff of 25% for our Product A category. Just enter the number 25 without the % sign. From the Design Center Network panel, Again, click Optimize, and the solution is now about $27.5 million, but we're still importing the same 90% quantity from China, with a bit more than 10% coming from our domestic sources. Total supply chain costs have risen by 1.5%, even with 25% tariffs being imposed. Go through this process for different tariff percentages, even as high as 145%, and we can see that between 120% and 125%, the optimum strategy is to change from a mix of 90% from overseas and 10% domestic to about 23% from overseas and 77% from domestic suppliers, resulting in the minimum overall supply chain cost, including product pricing and optimum sourcing quantities. The model also shows that even at the inflection point of 124%, when our strategy changes from greater foreign to domestic sourcing, the overall supply chain cost only rises a little over 7%. As always, feel free to contact us anytime with your questions, or if you need additional help with this or any other Prologix AI feature.